is happening, people? It is your boy Jack, and for the last 26 days in a row, I have made a video speaking about the stock market in some way, shape or form. And today was going to be no different. I was going to make a video speaking about whether or not we've reached the bottom of the stock market. And then I opened up YouTube this morning and I saw that Graham Stephan, one of my absolute favourite YouTubers in the world, has made a video on this already. So I said, you know what? Instead of me making a video, let's do something completely different on the channel, something I've never done before, and let's react to his video. The timing was just absolutely perfect. We're going to react to somebody who is much bigger than me, and we'll see what he has to say. I'll give my thoughts periodically as we go through the video. And yeah, you know what? Sometimes you just have to try something a little bit different, you know what I mean? Just to keep it fun for everyone. So before we get straight into it, I'm going to ask you to please just do me a massive favour. Smash the like button if you want more videos. Drop me a comment with your thoughts down below. And if you're not a part of the family yet, hit that subscribe button, hit the little bell button. And anyway, let's just get straight to it. Let's see what this man has to say and what my thoughts are as well.
What's up, you guys? It's Graham here. So the other morning, it was really like any other. I woke up around 6 a.m. I went to the kitchen. I got myself some coffee. I sat down in front of my computer. I took a sip of said coffee. And then I literally spit it back out when I saw that the unemployment number saw a 3,000% jump, with 6.6 million people claiming unemployment.
I remember this day so well because when this news came out, everybody expected the market to do horribly, and it was this day that really showed that the market doesn't care what's happening right now. It's doing whatever it wants. It was a crazy day.
And of course, the stock market reacts on such a devastating day like you would expect it to, by going up in price by 2.28%. Like, I can't be the only one who finds that very odd, right? Well, for anyone who's watched the markets over the last few months, we all know that nothing makes sense anymore. Like, anytime we see bad news, the stock market rallies in price because the news is not that bad. And then when actual good news comes out, the stock market drops in price because now we don't have any good news to look forward to. So that then lends the question, did we end up missing the stock market bottom with stock prices acting so unpredictably now that we've seen quite a few price increases?
So a lot to talk about there. The stock market's undoubtedly in an absolutely crazy place right now. It makes no sense, like I said a bit earlier on the video, and that's why there's so much uncertainty and so many people watching videos like these wondering, have we hit the bottom or is the worst yet to come? Are we going to miss out? What's going to happen next? That's what everybody's wondering now, because it makes no sense. When the bad news comes out, the market shoots up. When good news comes out, the market shoots down. It's backwards. It's all over the place. Now I'm just going to look for some of the more juicy stuff.
So here are some of the reasons it should continue going down. First, this illness is still fairly new and we're only a few months into it. So many people argue that we still have not felt the effects of what's possible, and a lot of these stay-at-home orders can last way longer than expected. There's still a massive supply deficit. It could take a while to ramp back up production, and a lot of businesses are not just going to spring back to life overnight. The second, we also have to address unemployment, which just hit 10 million claims in the last 2 weeks. Now, sure, some of that is temporary, and a lot of these people are going to be going back to work once their businesses open up. However, I think the kicker here is that once a lot of these businesses open up, they're going to start seeing a lot less demand because people are not going to be spending as much money because they have bills and savings to catch up on. And because of that, businesses might not be as busy and not need to hire as many people as before. Plus, I think a lot of businesses are going to realize how efficiently they could operate with less overhead. And they might start to think,
hey, wait a second, we don't need 5 employees anymore when we could just hire 3 and have them work a little bit harder. There we go. And those 3 employees are going to be super happy to work extra hard and do the work of 5 because they're lucky to have a job right now in the first place.
So these first 2 reasons, in my opinion, are definitely 2 of the biggest. As he said, the illness is still relatively new. We've no idea what extent, how long this could go on for, how long people are going to be out of business, how long companies won't be making any money. And then the other one is going to be the high unemployment. People are going to not have jobs. They're going to be making considerably less money, which means they'll be spending considerably less money. Even when businesses reopen, the economy is going to suffer massively. I don't think anybody expects this to be fixed quickly. That is why I'm in no rush to get into certain companies just yet. But anyway, let's see what else he has to say.
Third, even after all of this subsides, people are still probably going to be in a financial mess. They still have bills to pay, they're still going to have to pay rent, they're still going to have to pay their mortgage. And stimulus money is only going to last for so long before people are going to be on their own again and have to pick up the pace to make ends meet. And at this point, it's unclear how quickly this is going to come or how soon we could go back to things being normal. And fourth, we really have no idea how much of this is already priced in. Like, you guys have probably heard the saying, buy buy the rumor, sell the news, well, this is a bit applicable here. In a way, the stock market doesn't care about what's happening right now, it cares about what's happening in the future. Like, we take the current price and we factor in what's most likely going to happen over the next few weeks, then we go and price that in, and then anything that's better or worse than what we expected is going to be reacted to at that time, completely randomly. So given that we've already seen a big wave of news that's potentially priced in, there's still the expectation that we might not have all the available information to us right now at our disposal. And this could really be just the tip of the iceberg in terms of what could happen that we didn't already expect.
So, unsurprisingly, I agree with absolutely all of his points in regards to why the stock market could being the main word, continue to go further, and why we may have not reached the bottom yet, because ultimately nobody knows, and he's about to speak next on what could happen. That means it's just going to keep going up and that we have hit the bottom. But all of these 4 points that he brought up are extremely valid. We've spoke about them all on the channel through numerous videos. It's so uncertain right now. And on the point of what's already priced into the stock market, that's what's so hard to judge right now. PE ratios are all over the place. There is speculation around every single sector, every single stock, that the prices of these stocks is just so skewed. It's so inaccurate, and that's why some of them are absolutely great deals right now and some of them aren't terrible deals. But it's next to impossible to understand what is actually factored into a stock's price right now due to the sheer amount of speculation, the sheer amount of people buying stocks because they think they're going to go up in the next week, or the sheer amount of people selling their stocks because they think they're going to go down next week based on news that we have coming out. But now, some of the points as to why we may have actually hit the bottom of the stock market.
First, it's because JP Morgan told us so, and they must be right. Okay, obviously that was a joke, but no, seriously, one of the arguments that I see is that at some point a vaccine is going to be offered, people are going to be returning back to work, and in a few years from now, this could be a thing of the past. So that means from an investing standpoint, if you're investing money that you don't really need in the near future, it doesn't make a big difference if you invest right now or if you invest a year from now, as long as you just invest. So for anyone with that mentality, what the market is going to be doing in the short term doesn't make much of a difference. Second, the Federal Reserve has made it pretty clear that they're willing to do whatever it takes to keep the economy going at all costs. And even though some people are going to want to probably put that in the "that's a really bad sign" category, it does make you think that if things ever get too bad, that the Fed is willing to step in, get more money into circulation, and do what they can to help stop the loss. Now maybe that could mean that they're just postponing the inevitable or putting a small band-aid on a much bigger wound. But either way, they want to soften the landing and make things much easier in terms of loss. The third, the markets have already dropped from peak to very worst by nearly 40%, which is not an insignificant loss by any means. This drop was during a time where, outside of this event, everything was going relatively well. Interest rates were low, people were spending, consumer confidence was high, unemployment was low. And when we take this out of the equation, not too much had fundamentally changed. Now, obviously, this illness has significantly impacted our economy at this point. And that's definitely going to impact how people spend their money and how businesses operate for at least the next few months to potentially few years. But some might argue that isn't a nearly 40% drop reflective of that change? Now, fourth, there was already a lot of bad news priced into the markets, so what else are we seeing that we haven't already factored in? Like, we knew unemployment was going to be really, really bad, and that's why I think when it came out that 10 million people claimed unemployment, a lot of investors thought, well, you know what, we knew it was going to be bad, this isn't exactly new news to us, so we're going to continue moving forward. Now, fifth, anecdotally, and I say this purely from opinion, but it seems as though there's a lot of pessimism out there that the markets are absolutely going to be going down. And that kind of makes me think that if a lot of people are thinking this way, it's going to be less likely to happen. That's because if everyone thinks the market's going to be behaving in a certain way, they're going to take the precautions ahead of time to prevent that from happening in the first place. If people have the expectation that the market is going to continue falling, then they're not going to sell anything that they haven't already sold. And in a way, that gives the markets room to go back up. But at the end of the day, we have no idea how the markets are going to react and at which point we begin going back up. Like, if I were to guess, and just trust me guys, like, this is just a pure guess, I would say we probably go up and down in price within about a 10% range over the next few weeks or few months. And then slowly we'll begin moving back up with more green days than red.
So thank you, Graham, for an absolutely amazing video. I'm not going to watch the last part of the video because I want to just give my thoughts and opinions on what's going to happen next. I don't want to completely steal his video. If you want to watch the full thing, it'll be linked in the description. I highly recommend you check him out. He's an absolutely amazing YouTuber, massive inspiration to me and a massive influence behind my videos and how I put them together. So yeah, make sure go check him out if you want to see more of his stuff. The videos are something, the quality of them is something I aspire to have one day, so here's hoping. So now we have a little bit more of the full picture. We have reasons as to why the market could go down lower, or we have reasons as to why the market could continue to go up. I share a very similar opinion to Graham in regards to what I think is going to happen next. Personally, I might be a little bit more pessimistic. I don't think we've hit the bottom yet. I do think that new lows personally will be made, but again, this is just a guess. Like Graham said, I don't know, nobody knows. I definitely don't think we're going to see another drop like we've seen so far. The S&P down over 37% altogether from its peak. I don't think we're going to see anything anywhere near that, but I do definitely see room for the market as a whole to move down another 10-20%. I think we're past the large majority of crazy, record breaking days. There just seems to have been every single day for the last few weeks has been a record breaker. I think we're past that, and if they do come, I don't think they'll come near as frequently as they have. So personally, I do believe we can go a little bit lower. And my plan is just to dollar cost average the whole way down and the whole way back up. So no matter what happens next, as a long-term investor, I'm going to be buying stocks. And in my opinion, that's the best way to go about it in uncertain times like these. But yeah guys, they're just my closing thoughts and opinion. Graham, if somehow you end up watching this video, I love you, man. I doubt you will. You're a very busy man. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Again, if you're new around here, please drop the video a like and sub to the channel. The growth has been crazy. I'm going to be releasing a video in the next 2 days on how the channel has grown in 28 days of daily upload. So if you're excited for that, stick around, guys. But anyway, hopefully you enjoyed. And until the next one, peace.